Whew, let's just say that wasn't as convincing as a lot of people did think. Barnsley 0, Chelsea 1 in the FA Cup 5th round that sees us go into the next round where we will play Sheffield United at home in the quarterfinals. And yeah, as I said, not as convincing as a lot of people did think. And firstly, before we get into analysing Chelsea's overall performance, which was of course very poor in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will feel the same way, I want to praise Barnsley because they actually did play really well, and yeah, they surprised a lot of people. Not me, of course, because I actually said on Twitter before the game that I thought this would be a lot tougher game than a lot of people were, giving Barnsley credit for, because they're doing really well in the Championship this season, Barnsley, and my brother's a Norwich fan, and he'll even tell you, Barnsley have been really good in the Championships this season. They're very resolute, they're very brave as well, and they showed that tonight, because not only did they, sit back, they didn't do that whatsoever. They actually went for it, they created a lot of chances, and actually matched us for most, if not all of the games. So yeah, fair play, Barnsley. But yeah, getting into Chelsea's performance, I just think it was really lacklustre, unconvincing, just flat. I think there wasn't as much urgency as there normally was under Thomas Tuchel, wasn't as quick in transition from defence to attack as we would have liked, and I think Thomas Tuchel overall on the whole of the game will be very disappointed with the performance. Obviously you can't complain about the result because we did win the match, but yeah, overall just a really sloppy performance, and yeah, as I said, wasn't as much urgency, wasn't as quick. The passing was absolutely dreadful for most of the game, even though I would say that the pitch, the standard of the pitch played a really big role in that, because let's be honest, the pitch was absolutely dreadful. But I don't like using excuses, so I won't use that as an excuse whatsoever, because of course Barnsley did have to play on it as well. But yeah, just a really sloppy performance, and to be honest, I don't think there's much I can actually say in this video in terms of Chelsea's performance, other than the fact that, we were just poor. We just couldn't really pass the ball, couldn't create many chances, and yeah, just overall looked really flat. I don't want to be too negative though, because as I keep saying on this channel, we have looked very good since Thomas Tuchel has come in, and there's definitely been some very positive opening signs to Thomas Tuchel's reign as Chelsea manager in terms of the urgency, in terms of how quickly we get the ball forward. It's just that the clinical edge has been really lacking so far. But I want to quickly say as well that that is something that will come once the system is slowly interpreted into the players at the club, and I do think that eventually we will start to see a bit more of that clinical edge, and I do think we will start to see a little more goals and a little more free-flowing attacking moves from Chelsea once Thomas Tuchel can integrate this system onto the players. And yeah, as I keep saying, a really poor performance tonight, but yeah, you can't really complain whatsoever, because as I keep saying, we are into the next round of the FA Cup. If we go through the players, of course it was a 3-4-3 system, or kind of a 3-4-2-1 with inverted winger / 2 number 10s or whatever the hell it is, with Kepa in goal, of course, who did get a clean sheet, and to be fair, made a really good save in the first half from one of the Barnsley players. But in the second half he did look a bit shaky. He came out for one of the crosses that Barnsley put in, and he didn't really claim it, because he's quite a short goalkeeper, so he's not really being able to claim those every single time. But overall, a standard enough performance from Kepa. I think he was okay, a clean sheet, you won't complain about. Back three, Emerson of course playing left centre back, which is definitely a new sight, and I think he did okay. He wasn't really involved in the game too much. Zuma I think was okay. I think his passing was just absolutely horrendous, probably the worst passer in the team today. That doesn't really surprise me, because as good and as solid a defender as Zuma is, he's absolutely dreadful on the ball. I don't think anyone will argue with that. But yeah, next to him, Andreas Christensen, who I think was okay, got taken off at half time. I think that was purely because obviously he's going to start against Newcastle on Monday night, so try and keep him fresh for that game. Hudson-Odoi, right wing back, I thought was decent enough, and obviously he switched to the left wing back in the second half because Marcus Alonso did come off, who I think was kind of poor tonight, Marcus Alonso, but I won't go too harsh on him, because he's a really good left wing back, and I think he'll probably make up for that in the game against Newcastle on Monday night. I thought N'Golo Kante was really sloppy, even though I will cut him some slack, because of course it's his first game back from injury, his first proper game back from injury, and yeah, he just looked really sloppy, really poor tonight. Did captain the side N'Golo Kante, so yeah, props to him. Billy Gilmore next to him, I actually thought had a really good game as per usual. I think Billy Gilmore, he just is a sensational player. He's one of the best teenage talents I've seen come through from Chelsea over the years. He's so composed on the ball, he's got the composure and the overall passing range of an absolute veteran, and yeah, he loves to get stuck in. He's a tenacious midfielder as well, so yeah, definitely more positives from Billy Gilmore once again in that Chelsea midfield, and once again was one of our outstanding players in the FA Cup. Pulisic and Ziyech, I think Ziyech had an absolute mare. I think he was absolutely awful, even though again I will cut him some slack because he's only just come back from injury, and yeah, playing on a pitch that he's not really used to, because over in Holland they have some, they have AstroTurf pitches everywhere, and the pitches are literally as smooth as a baby's bottom, so yeah, he's not really used to this. Once again, they won't make excuses, because once again, he was really poor tonight, Ziyech. I think Pulisic wasn't much better, even though he was trying to get here and thereabouts. I think he created a few chances here and there, just couldn't quite get into the game. And of course, Tammy Abraham up front, who did get the decisive goal, and two main moments for Tammy Abraham, because of course he did score the decisive goal, and near the end made a really good block off the line, which did save us from actually drawing this game and going to extra time. So Tammy Abraham with two extremely decisive moments in the game, the two decisive moments of the game at both ends of the pitch, and overall I actually feel like Tammy Abraham was really poor besides those two moments, but who cares? If he has a poor game every single game and scores a goal and gets a goal line clearance at the other end, who cares how poorly he plays? And yeah, in terms of the subs, and I actually didn't realise you could make 5 subs in the FA FA Cup, even though we only made 4. Obviously, Tino Anjorin coming on, which is very, very positive, and that's one thing I will say to a lot of Chelsea fans who have been pessimists about Thomas Tuchel coming in. There's been a lot of, uncertainty as to whether Thomas Tuchel would actually, use this youth system, even though he's ranted and raved about it since he's come in, and I think tonight is very much proof, because I don't think a lot of Chelsea fans expected Billy Gilmore to start, and to be honest, I don't think a lot of Chelsea fans, probably including myself, would have predicted that Tino Anjorin would come on, even with us only being 1-0 up, in a game that was very, very tight on the overall balance of things. And look, I don't want to slander Frank Lampard whatsoever, because you know how much I back Frank Lampard and have backed him over the years, but I don't think Frank Lampard whatsoever would have put Anjorin on, especially in those circumstances where it was such a tight game, and even against lesser opposition, against Morecambe of course in that 4-0 win. I mean, no disrespect to them, but they are lesser opposition, let's be honest. Billy Gilmore didn't even get a minute, Tino Anjorin didn't even get a minute, Lewis Bate wasn't even on the bench. I don't think Anjorin was even on the bench for that game, so it just goes to show that Thomas Tuchel clearly is interested in bringing these Chelsea youngsters through, and that's obviously extremely positive. And I think the fans that weren't as confident that Tuchel would kind of practice what he preaches in terms of the Chelsea Youth Academy, I think that will give him a lot more room to breathe in terms of his selections of the Youth Academy there. So very promising signs overall, but as I keep saying, a really poor performance. I can't get over that. We can't scrape by that, because let's be honest, it was a really poor performance, but we did end up getting through in the end, which is of course the most important thing in football. And we do move on now to Sheffield United at home in the FA Cup quarter-finals, and realistically we should be going through in that one, even though Sheffield United, of course, they don't really have much to play for in the Premier League, because I firmly believe they are down now, so they could end up putting out a strong team and trying to actually go for it in the FA Cup, but it's still a game we should be winning, and we should be into the FA Cup semi-finals with that fixture in mind. And actually, I've just seen the stats here, Jesus Christ, in terms of the stats, Chelsea obviously dominated the game, 73% possession, which I don't think anyone whatsoever is surprised about, but Barnsley actually had 14 shots to Chelsea's 6, 4 on target to Chelsea's 1, that is absolutely astounding. So once again, just fair play Barnsley, they were actually really, really good. As much as we were terrible, I want to give, props to the opposition team, because for a championship side, they really gave us a good run for the money and really made it really tough for us. So fair play Barnsley once again. But it just does go to show that even though there's been very early signs of promise for Thomas Tuchel, there still is a lot of work to do in terms of the, developing the cutting edge and, us taking our actual chances, because for all the talent we do have at this moment in time, we aren't scoring enough goals whatsoever, and hopefully we can get that, sorted out very, very soon, and hopefully build a team to, be really good to watch and, that can win games at the same time. And I think that is where we're going to end this video now, because I don't think there's actually much more I can say, because in conclusion, we were poor, but we still won the game. Barnsley, fair play to them, they were really good, and that's all I can really say on this game. So it's on to the next one, on to Newcastle on Monday night, and hopefully we can continue this run under Thomas Tuchel, because we are still undefeated under Thomas Tuchel, let's just remember that. And so if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like. 20 likes as per usual will be massively appreciated by myself, and also if you could subscribe to the channel if you are new, make sure to do that, because we are now looking to hit 1,500 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. And also thank you guys so much for 1,400 subscribers, which we did hit recently. If you were to hit that subscribe button, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would make my day, believe it or not, so it is very much a win-win situation. And Chelsea through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.